Quick review time from the makers of Story of Seasons, formerly known as Harvest Moon. And if you see Harvest Moon, that's not the real one. It's confusing, I know, but trust me, bro. Comes the series that debuted on the Nintendo DS that has 7 other games over the years that you just happen to miss, but I promise are loved by many. It's a new spin-off that does a few things differently. Looking for your next farm sim, but with more focus on combat and finding you a boo, saving the world, or flying on your sheep track? What? Anyway, while the townspeople do all the work for you, look no further. Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma, or Azuma. Either way, in this game, and that's all I'm gonna tell you about the plot is, you step into the role of the Earth Dancer, whose goal it is to restore the land, and its people, and even its gods. As you battle corrupted monsters and rebuild seasonal farms and villages, and form bonds with the colorful locals. And guess what? You thought you wasn't gonna have amnesia in this game? Just like any other Rune Factory, you wake up with amnesia and you don't know nothing. And somebody, that girl next door, comes to save you, and when that's the person that they want you to be booed up with. But no, there are so many bachelors and bachelorettes to sweep you off your feet. And that's the thing about Rune Factory's Guardians of Azuma. You can always get to know villagers and get to know them on a more personal level and eventually marry them. That is just one of those things that you will see in a Rune Factory or a Harvest Moon or Story of Season or a Farm Sim game. But on top of that, the relationships you build and the people that you meet also help you manage and build your towns up. In this game, you actually get to rebuild entire villages, construct places for people to work, people to live. They contribute to the growing and prosperous lands that you are somehow made chief of because, hey, let's give this kid with amnesia who don't know what he's doing, who just happen to have a cool title, the reins of our village, because why not? On top of that, it's more so a fantasy Japanese life game in the old times. It's a little bit further back than what you're used to in Rune Factory games, but the worlds are beautiful. You have things like rice farms, and speaking of rice farms, they even have a crossover with Sakura from Rice of Ruin, a game that you might not have played, but it was also good. The thing is, this is a beautiful looking game, especially for the Switch 2. And living in those environments is what makes this game a lot of fun and a lot of personality. A lot of people had problems with Rune Factory 5 as it felt empty, the mechanics, and sometimes the game was just a little laggy or had some performance issues, but you have none of that in Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. And the villagers, even people you get to know, it just all feels lively as you see people doing their things, people getting to know them, going out on dates, hanging out with people. It's just a lot going on. And that's what I love about it so far. But you can't have Rune Factory without the thing that makes it different from those Story of Seasons and Harvest Moon games, and that's the combat. And in this game, the combat takes a drastic leap. And I mean, the combat improved in Rune Factory 5. The combat has always been simplistic, but this time you have a lot of different weapons. And you can see it's pretty simple, but it's fun and effective. And one thing you'll be using are these new abilities and tools. You got a whole, look, you got a weapon tree, it's an RPG. But these weapons stem from things like umbrellas that wash out water, or a fan that does fan, I guess, wind. Yeah, wind. On top of things like a fire blade and other things as well. But this game is just very interesting, very fun, very refreshing, and very addictive once you get into it. So if you're looking for something else to play on your Switch too, because a lot of people say there's only one game that came out, definitely look into Rune Factory's Guardians of Azuma. It's a good time. It's something different for some people that may have never stepped into this series, but this series has this many games for a reason, because they're different and they're good. And this one is a good time. So should you be playing Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma? Absolutely. Check it out on the Nintendo Switch, and I believe also on Steam.